Well, the bomberos are still pouring water into the roof of the hotel park here in São Martinho do Porto. Night has fallen now, and as it has, the flames have claimed the roof on what would be the first floor of the building. And you can see the turret to the left of the screen there, which there's two iconic parts to this building: the old neon sign on the gate, which I suspect is still intact, although that was fairly dilapidated, and this turret, the tower of the hotel park, which should have been on above the second floor. And the bomberos doing their best to, I guess, let it burn out in a safe way. No further units, appliances seem to have come to help out from many other towns. Maybe they're not needed, maybe they've got it under control here in São Martinho do Porto. But we're just seeing a slow kind of burnout basically of the building. All of the, I'm guessing it's the first floor to the, what would be the right, as you look at the front of the building, to the right of that turret, that's burning out just as this section of roof that you can see here is burning out. We're down to the timbers basically. All of the you're seeing the flames through the what's left of the roof tiles, and you can see right through into the roof and the silhouette of the roof timbers, which just saw a little movement in them. They're going to be collapsing in, I suspect, any minute. But there's no sense of panic, or it's pretty grim. A lot of townsfolk are obviously out having a look, seeing what's going on. And there's no, apart from the obvious horror of seeing this in your town, there's no great sense of emergency or outrage or anything. You know, it's a calm, it's a surprisingly calm atmosphere as townspeople are watching a very iconic building, historic building in their town, just not burned down exactly, but certainly to have its roof burn out. And imagine by, I guess, pouring a lot of water in, they'll stop further damage to the ground floor. This you can maybe just see in the darkness here is a more modern extension, presumably some sort of reception room on the ground floor that was added after the first part of the building. I think around the turn of the 20th century, I would say 20s, 30s, 1920s, 1930s is when Hotel Park was first put together. And there are rumours in the town about who owns it and what they were going to be doing with it, who, whether it would ever be renovated, the owners wanting too much money so that no one would ever buy it anyway. And so it stood empty. I think apart from a little bit of petty vandalism and people breaking in and just looking around, and maybe that's what happened today. Somebody was inside the building who shouldn't have been and set it alight, and the result is what you see in front of you. One theory, and no doubt many will be circulating right now, as theories normally do when old buildings that haven't been renovated and have been left standing empty for a long time. There are always rumours, aren't there, about such situations. One appliance leaving the scene, maybe to replenish its water supply. A bit of a searchlight on the building as well, as they just continue to pump water into the building, through the top of the building, through the roof, through what's left of the roof, and basically just everyone here watching it burn out. This is probably 30 or 40 minutes now, maybe up to an hour, of when I first saw smoke in the sky earlier on. It's still popping and banging. There's no obvious danger, as far as I can tell, to surrounding buildings, and the GNR Bomberos are not evacuating people. I'm maybe 100 meters away from the building, and it looks, as I pan around, you can see there are apartment buildings behind. They're some way away. They're separated by another street and the grounds of this hotel. So it would appear they're just letting it, like a controlled burn of this old building, with no obvious danger to the buildings nearby. Now that's the first siren I've heard that's probably back up from another town or city. We have a pretty impressive Bomberos setup in the town, with quite an array of appliances and vehicles and all sorts of... Well, it's a mixture. The Bomberos here in Portugal, you have the paramedics and the firefighting teams, and they've got a pretty good setup, as far as I can tell. I'm no expert, but they look fairly well equipped in comparison to other stations I've seen. But in the distance I can hear a siren. Maybe they have called in some more specialist gear so they can get more water into there from another part of the country nearby. And it would appear we're just watching a controlled burning of this very sad controlled burning of this old building that's known by many people who visited São Martinho do Porto. Certainly it's stuck in my mind when I first visited, was saddened by an empty building that would look so beautiful and so would be such a bonus and a blessing to this town in working condition as it was back in the day. And I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking that. walking past and thinking, what a shame this building isn't in good use and it's fallen in such a state of disrepair and now falling into possibly irretrievable disrepair. This roof section that's burning now is very close to the, maybe calling it a tower is a little bit overdoing it, but you get the sense that the tower, the turret, the focal point of the building, flames are licking up the side of that as well now. And it sounds like it's very much ablaze still, crackling away and lighting up the side of the building and the night sky here. As they continue to pour water into the building. Well, the siren I heard has not appeared to come to anything. Maybe it's a different emergency or situation.
So you die actually, you're not dying. You're doing wrong, you're dead. No, you're not dying. You're completely tranquilized. Everything. And your eyes are working, your mind is working. Completely just everything goes down, but you are not.
Yeah, it just seems to be a very calm and resigned atmosphere among the spectators here. A lot of people still standing around and watching to see what's going to happen here. I'm not sure if you can see in this light, but water still being poured in from an extended, what would it be, a cherry picker type device. So they're still pouring loads of water into the top of the building, and still it continues to burn.
I think it's they think that they are they're not. You hold that thing on the chain while I shoot it. It's not hungry. It is after the funeral, not before. There's bad taste to have conversations going. Seems to be slowing down a bit. Yeah. The lumber part of it's probably all burnt out. I would love to see the whole roof construction down. Yeah, I've got many heard to see that. But this takes hours. You've never seen the first with another roof. There's another roof at the other side. You see it like under like the gaps in the roof pile, like it was starting to burn. But it seemed like they might have been tight enough to seal where the smoke was trapped in there already. Fire's right. Eliminate any of those three and the fire's off. Yeah.
I think what we're seeing now possibly is a lot of steam because they've directed the jet of water into this part of the blaze that's nearest to me. So I think I've possibly seen a lot of steam coming out, steam and smoke.
Earlier it came out really black. Now you can't really tell because it's night. You can't tell it's just dark and thick. But it was really hot smoke up for a while earlier. All these shirts come before everybody knows that it's right now.
Oh, that's more water coming in. People behind me, the footsteps you can hear, people returning home to see that the old hotel next door to their apartment block is on fire. And daylight is going to be quite eerie when daylight returns tomorrow. We'll get a full picture of what the damage is from the street anyway. So I think what we're seeing is a lot of steam now, a lot of water being sprayed onto this particular part of the blaze that's closest to me. And despite that, the flames aren't letting up, but there's a lot of steam rising into the sky.
That tower is looking like it might be in good shape on that section. What I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, it supplies air to it at the same time. It does both things. It puts it out in the heat, but it starts a wind at first, and it pulls more air in. So it's a balancing act for it. Unless they're ready to, unless they're ready to put down foam, there's nothing else they can do. Foam viewers might get upset because foam is a little bit better garbage than friendly. That's the rainstorm. This is pessimism spreading. Yeah, spreading. The only dry day in 3 months. Yeah, exactly. Now believe in the
Well, I'm not sure there's much more I can usefully share with you. I mean, clearly you get the picture. The Hotel Parque, I'm wanting to call it Hotel du Parque. I'm not sure. I mean, I know this building so well. I've walked past it so many times. I love it. And I'm not even sure if I've got its name right. But at Hotel Parque, I'm sure if you've walked past it, you'll remember it with its old broken neon sign with the sense of its splendor back in presumably the 1920s, 30s and 40s here in Portugal, that would have been visited by people from all around the world. And in the night sky now, you can see it's still ablaze. It's smoking and steaming as they're pouring more water into the building. And it's not showing any sign of letting up. I think it would appear there's a controlled burn just to let it burn down safely and make sure the neighborhood's okay, and to minimize the spread of any rampaging kind of fire and blazing. So it looks like it's a controlled operation now. And I would have expected by now, maybe an hour since I saw the first smoke rising above the town, that it would be perhaps coming to some sort of conclusion. But the heat inside the building is clearly intense, and we're still getting bursts of flames coming up from inside the building as they're pouring water into the top of the building with the hose on the cherry picker type device, the extendable ladder. It's still well and truly lit and blazing, and water has been poured on since we first started filming 20 or 30 minutes ago, and I don't know what else I can usefully share with you except my just to share with you my sadness at this beautiful building that many of us hoped would be brought back to life, brought back into commission and be an asset to the town. Will be now a question of what's going to happen now. What's the future of this building? Will it just be knocked down, and on this prime bit of real estate, something more modern and possibly less attractive, certainly something less historic, will be put in its place because it is now unsalvageable? What a shame. But there you go. Won't be the first situation of that kind, would it, in the world? We'll come back tomorrow and see what's what, see the state of things when the light returns tomorrow, to see what sort of picture we have and see what sort of future this building might have. So I'll leave it there for now, and certainly we'll talk about it on the show in the morning, on the Good Morning Portugal show. And I hope you're safe and well wherever you are, in whatever part of the world you're looking at this from. Take care, and good night from São Martinho Do Porto, where we appear to be losing one of our most beautiful historic buildings here, the Park Hotel.